beautiful butterflies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so lovely to see you today, and I'm really excited because today we're going to be chatting about Yuletide, which is like Yule and Christmas like smudged together, and there's also other really lovely, sorry I was just getting myself comfy, there's also other really lovely festive celebrations in December. So I really want to start celebrating this time of year instead of dreading it. And I know that a lot of people struggle this time of year. So let's talk about flipping the script and having a wonderful time. What do you say? Let's talk about it. So for me, Christmas has been a struggle for the past few years. If you check out my blog, if you check out past videos I've done here on the channel, you'll know that I have been a struggler with Christmas. We didn't even put a tree up or any decorations last year. And I think it's just a time of year that there's a lot of pressure on us as disabled people to be sociable, to be with family, to do lots of things. There's events going on, parties, and there's all this kind of feeling like I want to be there, but can I be there? And a lot of pressure from family who might not understand that you have chronic illnesses and you have to look after your health. So for me personally, it was a mixture of that, but also grief around my grandparents passing away and just never really feeling Christmassy after losing them. And also when my mum and dad broke up, I was in my late 30s when that happened. So it felt very much like, oh, I can't be with both of them on Christmas anymore. And it just kind of changed things. And my dad has this whole other family separate to me now. And it just feels like there's this separation. And I think many of us can feel that way and have a lot of these same thoughts and feelings around the holiday season. Also, if you live in a different country to your family or a different part of the country, it's just a lot. And then added on top of that is, how the politicians seem to be a fan of austerity and yet pushing down our throats that we need to be buying more to keep the country going, not understanding that the two things don't go together. But I think for me personally, it's all about now changing that. I just want to change it. There is a YouTuber who I've watched for years now called Darling Desi. I will leave a link to them down below, and they're all about romanticising the seasons. They do a lot of reading content and a lot of just really lovely content around romanticising the season and making it the best it can be in a slow living and just enjoying each day kind of way. And it really inspires me to do the same, to really, instead of dreading winter, to find ways to really romanticize it and make it lovely again. Because I'm going to be alive for a long time, I hope. I'm only halfway through my life, I hope, at least. So I really want to change it. I really want to get to a point where I'm actually enjoying my life and enjoying the winter, because it's like England. Winter starts mid-October and it ends April sometimes. Or so it feels. So we have to be really kind to ourselves. We have to be really gentle with ourselves. Winter comes with its own special difficulties. Being disabled, the winter is hard. Now, I've spoken to a lot of people here who they look forward to the winter because they have an ease in their symptoms. I only get an ease in spring and early autumn because that's when the temperature's just right. My body's like, yes. There's also the sensory overload of lights and music and parties and talking and lots of conversation and bright colours. There's the whole fatigue and the mental health struggles that come with the lack of sunlight as well. And all these things go together in this big pot that make winter difficult. But I think it's time for me to kind of find ways through that, and I've been really thinking about this over the last couple of months, just ways to change things and to really step into nicer, lovelier, cozier winter time. So if you really want to see how I'm going to actually put these things in action, make sure you're subscribed. I know many of you are not subscribed. Please hit that subscribe button, make sure you ring that little bell so you can keep up with all my little adventures. I think instead of feeling like I've got to be weighed down by social expectations of Christmas, I really want to start just putting my mental health and my physical health first. And this is something that is not easy to do. It's called setting boundaries. And these boundaries can be because of family members not respecting the fact that you're struggling. This can be because of you feeling expectation because of how your mum did Christmas or how your grandparents did Christmas, or movies. Like there's a lot of Christmas films on Netflix. I love them, by the way. They're so cheesy and so bad, but I love them. But all these expectations can really put a lot onto us, and I think dismantling those and looking at what is actually the truth of Christmas and Yuletide, and they're very different to what it's become. It's become very commercial. It's become very much something that's all about spending money and about being flashy and doing things a certain way. But if you look at the real the core of the season, for me it's about friends and family, mostly family. And as I get older and my family unit gets smaller and smaller, it can feel like you're not really celebrating. What is there to celebrate? You know, I always used to be dreaming about children and having watching children unwrapping their presents and stuff, and that never happened for us. Letting go of those ideals in our heads and instead thinking about what would actually make these 2 days, because they're on different days. I think it's the 21st for Yule this year, because it's movable between the 21st and the 23rd, but I think it's the 21st this year, and then the 25th for Christmas. So you've got 2 days there that you can work with, and I think that to me gives you a little bit of leeway to really be like, right, how can I spread out the celebration and have 2 Christmases? That's how you can think of it, and that's how I'm definitely thinking of it this year. It's finding ways that can support your well-being instead of forcing yourself to do things because society tells you to do them. And really, for me, this is a big one. This is a big one. I have a lot of wonderful memories of spending Christmas with my parents and my grandparents, and I just loved it. And now everything's different, and it can feel very much like, well, doesn't feel Christmassy. But really what's special about it is that I was seeing family, and on Christmas Day I am going to be with family and be with my husband and my mum, and I'm probably going to see friends around that time as well. And I think so in that case I can kind of dismantle those ideals and instead romanticize where I am now and my reality. Be really mindful about where I am and what I want to do. This year I am going to decorate. I was going to decorate today, but I really wasn't feeling well at all. So now I'm probably going to decorate on Thursday. And decorating for me is not this big huge thing where I've got a massive tree. We don't even have a tree. We have a garland that we just put over the mantelpiece. We don't have tons of baubles and things. I have a reusable advent calendar. Like, it's all very low budget. We don't have like loads of lights and flashing. That sort of thing can cause migraines, and my husband has epilepsy and he also suffers with migraines, and I have sensory overload really easily. So those flashing bright lights, not good for us. I do have my moose. He jingles, and his antlers used to light up. They don't anymore, but they're still really cute. Do you like him? He doesn't have a name. What should his name be? Give me some name ideas down below. I think he's cute. So little areas is what I'm concentrating on when it comes to decorating. I don't want to be having a million baubles on my tree. In fact, I think I'm going to get rid of like 90% of the baubles that I own, because they're just like plain red or plain gold, and I'm just like, what? Just no. So I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of stuff and taking it down to charity shop. But I have a lot of really cute things. I have things that I've made, and I'm going to be making some Yule decorations in next week's video, so make sure that you stick around for that if you want to see how I'm going to decorate my altar room. But I'm going Christmas in the living room because that's the shared space. So I'm just concentrating on little pieces around the room instead of looking like Santa threw up in there. You know what I mean? It's going to make it a lot easier for me as well. So that's really, really important. Because as well, I always think like you're going to use a lot of energy to put all that decoration up. And then in a few weeks, you're going to use all that energy to take it down again. And I just think it's not thinking about what's special. And what's special is just keeping a few really beautiful things out. And I am going to be recording me decorating, so that vlog will be out soon. So make sure you I'm not going to say that again. Anyway, I'm also going to be making my Christmas cards this year. I bought some blank Christmas cards with envelopes that are watercolour paper, because I've started like teaching myself watercolour, and I'm going to try and paint some like baubles and things on there, paint my own cards. I just want to make things rather than buying lots of stuff. I'm only probably going to buy things for like 2 people other than my mom and my husband. Other than that, I'm probably not going to be buying lots of things. I don't think it's the best way to go. We consume a lot. We overconsume in our world, and we need to slow down. It's time we start collecting things that we really love and decorating in a way that is really thoughtful and thrifted and slower and more caring for our planet. And if we could spread that far and wide, it would be a better place to live. I love crafting as well because it really helps my mental health. It's great to get off a screen. No offense to you guys who are watching this on the screen. God bless you. And to spend some time painting, or to spend some time doing a jigsaw puzzle or something like that, is really good for your mental health. It really helps me. It grounds me in the moment, and I can just kind of let go of so much and just be in the moment. I find it so grounding. I think for me, Christmas and winter this year is all about those little cozy moments. Lighting a candle. I bought my mum some candles today, and we lit the candle immediately, and we're both there in our cozy clothes, and I've got a blanket round me and my dog on my lap, and it's just a vibe. And I was just sat there reading, just feeling very grounded and very happy to just be cozy in the moment. And speaking of, at the moment I'm reading this is called Winter Magic, A Witch's Yule by Sarah Hayden. I'll be doing a review of this when I've finished it on my vlog. But yeah, I really wanted to step into reading books like this, like Winter Magic, how to make winter special, and also reading books that are set in the winter that are really gonna make me feel cozy. And it's always nice to read a book when it's set in the season that you're in. Do you find that? It's just so nice, like when they're talking about being all cozy and warm and lovely, and you're just like, me too. It's great, and I love it so much. I also love getting cozy in a blanket and watching a lovely cheesy Christmas film. It's just peak cozy, and those are the moments that I really want to step into more, because they're the things that really stick in my head, right? When me and my mom are sat there and we're watching a terrible Christmas film, or I'm reading and she's watching something on telly, or we're listening to Christmas music, it just feels so grounded and loving and lovely, and that is what we want. We want a romanticised, lovely, cosy winter and Yuletide. It's all about focusing on the small little moments the small little things that you can do that don't take too many spoons but are lovely memories to build with family members. Like you could go out for lunch with someone if you're able to. Like I'm going out for lunch next week on Tuesday with two of my best friends, and we're just gonna have a lovely chat and catch up, and it'll be so lovely. And I think that is the sort of energy that I want to keep stepping into and to keep wrapping around myself. And that's what you should be doing. It shouldn't be about the big, extravagant, massive things that we see in the movies and on TV shows and in books. But it should be about those lovely cozy moments that really don't take many spoons but really build beautiful memories. I think it's important, if you are disabled like moi, to really take the time to plan your season. You can be invited to a million things this season. It happens, trust me. All different friend groups want to get together, people have parties, people want you to go over for the evening or for the afternoon or whatever. Just pick the things that you actually want to do. I know, terrifying, isn't it? But it's that setting of boundaries. Great Aunt Agatha, who always invites you over and you go, but you have a terrible time. She can't cook, she makes terrible tea, and you don't like going. Don't go. It's all about being a bit selfish sometimes. Because no, it's not being selfish. It's setting boundaries and it's looking after ourselves. People might look at it and say it's selfish, and it feels selfish. Just saying that to myself, like, oh, I'm going to say no to people this season. It just feels a bit wrong, you know? It just feels a bit wrong. But I promise you that come January, when all this stuff stops and you still have spoons at your disposal because you said no to most things and just went to one or two things and you actually enjoyed them, you're going to be thanking yourself. Trust me, you're going to be thanking yourself. I also want to say, adapt your traditions. If you always had like a turkey and vegetables that you had to go and get like the day before, and you book this and you do that, you know what? God bless you. We always did that as well. But now I just buy everything months and months before, frozen. Everything's frozen that we eat on Christmas Day. We have a frozen like Viennetta pudding. We have like a frozen like turkey joint thing that's already got the stuffing. It's like we have like frozen veg, frozen Aunt Bessie's, all that kind of thing. It's all about making it so that everyone can enjoy the day, right? Because if my husband, who is the cook in our house because I struggle with cooking, if he was to have to get up at like 5:30 in the morning to cook a turkey like my mum used to, he'd be exhausted and wouldn't enjoy Christmas, because then he'd be in bed straight after dinner because he has fatigue as well. I think adjusting things slightly so that you can enjoy it, so everyone can enjoy that day, it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of said day. In fact, it makes it better, because if you're looking after yourself, if everybody is happy, you can watch terrible Christmas TV or films that you enjoy, whatever it is, and enjoy those things so much more than if you're putting yourself out and making so much pressure on yourself to do Christmas how your mum did it or how your grandmother did it or whatever. It's just not going to be possible to do and enjoy. And then you've got the kickback from it as well. So I think it's important to just adjust things a little bit. Make it so that you don't get up so early in the morning. Like if your husband is able-bodied or your wife doesn't have fatigue issues, they can get up with the children and maybe open the presents. Or what if Santa left the presents in your room and then they came in and opened the presents while you were still in bed? These little things that we all could do that make it a little bit easier. And yes, it's changing tradition, but somebody made up that tradition. One day somebody said, I'm going to do this thing. Your mom, your grandmother, whoever it was. And they just did it. And what was the tradition before that? Do you know what I mean? Like, times change, and if changing it a little bit is going to make you feel better, it's so worth it. This year, let's do things without guilt. This year, let's just enjoy and romanticize the season. Let's step into traditions that are based in folklore, not just on really commercialized Christmas. Why not give gifts that you've made? Why not make cards? Why not read books? Give books for Christmas? I don't know. Everybody's different, right? So your needs and your wants and the things that you need to do are different to mine. But I think this year for me, I want Yule and I want Christmas. I want it to be soft. I want it to be cozy. I want it to be filled with cups of tea and lovely feeling. And I think there's going to be so much change. Instead of I'm dreading this season, it's I'm doing things this season that are going to really help and really make it lovely. And I think this year, you know, as you all know, we lost my mother-in-law this year. We lost our dog Dexter. It's not been easy this year, and this Christmas is going to be difficult. It is. It's going to be sad in a lot of ways, but it doesn't have to be awful. It can be sad and beautiful and loving and kind to ourselves and cozy and lovely and so many other nice words. I really hope this video can help you realise that by changing the way you're looking at Christmas and Yule, setting boundaries, doing things that you actually want to do instead of things that you have to do, and thinking about how it's going to affect your body and your mental health is going to make it so much better. Just get rid of the guilt, get rid of the pressure, and let's just have a lovely December, January and February, and just really be kind and tender with ourselves. I would love to hear how you're going to be implementing these ideas into your celebrations this year, and if there are any big changes that you've made to how you celebrate since you've become disabled, or changes that you've grown up with because you have disabled family members, whatever it is. I would love to hear all the things down in the comments. Don't forget, many of you are not subscribed, so if you did enjoy this video, and I so hope you did, don't forget to head down below and leave it a cheeky like, comment, subscribe, hype it up, all those lovely free things that help me to know, and the that help me to know and the YouTuberverse to know that you enjoyed the video, and it will share it out just that little bit more. Take care everyone, have a wonderful Yuletide, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!